Dermo brings the party again. Dermo the Tottenham fan. Irish Silver Fox, he's the king of the dance. Hands in the air when the bass line drops, singing, come on you Spurs! Non-stop Dermo the Tottenham fan. Moonwalking sideways with a pint in his hand. Silver Fox swagger all over the floor. Everybody screaming, one more! One more. Silver Fox in the rave tonight. Dermo got the place alight. Na, 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 na. Come on, you Spurs tonight. Na, 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 na. Silver Fox under the lights.
Just from lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire. This is my club, my only desire. Woo! Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire. This is my club, my only desire.
I'll unmute Tony as well. I promise to the West Ham fans watching us over on Hammers Football TV, you won't have that problem next season because you've been listening to Millwall Till We Die or Lincoln Away Till We Die. So you won't have that problem. Or the opposite way around. Yeah. Good evening. Welcome to THFC Till We Die, home of Top Pat's present and exciting future under De Zerbi as he leads us to safety and send West Ham crying home to their mammies tomorrow. Yes, and Tony, good evening. Welcome. Welcome good evening, to everyone from Hammers Football TV. Have you taken my idea of making a few extra quid for yourself next season?
100%, mate. I've already contacted Peter Jones at Dragon's Den, and the interview's next week.
Yeah. Hammers Football TV binoculars with a free toy. There you go. Now, the toy could be a little Tony. That's what I've just thought of now. Do a little miniature Tony, and you get it free with every binoculars you buy, because you might need them.
Small head, small body, and a big head. That's what it'll be.
That's it. Yeah, You can the head that wobbles like this. Put it in front of your car. Then you can drive to work with Tony and have make him come out with a few little sayings. The owner's out. Look, can I just put it up there, right? Me and Tony are really good friends off stream, and you and me are sort of old school, aren't we, Tony? We know tomorrow's big, but we sort of gone the old school way of talking to each other, haven't we? A little bit.
Yeah,
We sort of got the old ways. Do you think that's important tomorrow? That it is only a football game at the end of the day. Yes, it's massive. Yes, it's the Premier League. Yes, it's about us. It's about you. It's about staying in the Premier League. But at the end of the day, it is only a football match, isn't it?
It is, man. I mean, don't go. It's as you said, it is massive. I mean, it doesn't mean a lot for both of us at the end of the day.
Yeah,
who goes up and who stays up and who goes down. But at the end of the day, as you said, mate, it is only football. And don't get me wrong, I think me and you would be both gutted if it was whatever club, if it's your club, our club.
Oh, of course I would.
We'd be gutted in that respects. But I think you've got to look at it on the other way as well. It could also be a good thing. So you look at it like that. But no, friendship at the end of the day stays friendship, and that football is football.
Yeah. Just 90 minutes we can slag each other off to our heart's content. And after that, fair play. Hull won today. Big up to Hull. I'm glad they're up. But you are right in one touch, Tony, about that. It's about ownership, isn't it? And both our owners we are not happy with. Now, there's a protest after tomorrow in the South Stand. Billy is coming on later to talk about that. What have you got planned at your ground? Anything planned for the summer, or do you think is there anything planned for you lot in the summer against your ownership?
Well, no doubt they'll probably be saying tomorrow. I think no doubt they'll be saying built up along that way. I mean, at the end of the day, the next thing now is to try and get rid of the owner. If we can do that, that'll be the next massive step. That's going to be the key stage. Is that?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, come on, we're both massive clubs with massive histories. West Ham's got a big history, so has Tottenham got a big history. Big up to you, Pagey. Look at that. Look at her. Look at her in a stunning Bayern Munich top. Look at that. I know she'll be wearing a Spurs bit tomorrow. Big up, Pagey. What are you doing in the West Ham chat? Come on. This is treason at the highest order.
She knows where her bread is buttered, but that's it. She's heard about the binoculars. That's what it is. You ain't got them things. That's why you don't get the.
Yeah. She's heard about what Tony's got binoculars for, so I'm buying them. Big up to Harry. Good evening, all you Britford people. Harry Monk, how you doing, well, buddy? Big up to Daz. Big up to I hope you see, but they're all going over to the binoculars are a big game changer for your channel, Tony. See, they're all in your channel, bud. Then he's in mine because he felt sorry for me. Thank you so much. Big up to Malaska. Oi, oi, Tony. And all you beautiful hammers. Big up to you. Come on, you irons. Big up to Wayne. Good evening, folks. Hope as all well. How are you, Wayne boy?
Evening, Wayne.
Now, listen, I do apologise about that. Now, what I would advise, Harry, is buy some earplugs, put them in your ears for about a minute and a half or 2 minutes. And then when you see our beautiful faces, then you wouldn't have to listen to it. There's another thing, earplugs. You can design earplugs now, Hammer TV earplugs. There you go. You're going to be Del Boy and a millionaire. Just need a Rodney and an Uncle Albert. You'll be grand. And a 3-week plan.
You bring me already, so we're right on that one.
Yeah. Big up Mr. Brady. He says, is there a game tomorrow? Apparently. We don't know. Big up to Ruthless Gooner. Yeah, we're on there later. I don't know about the capital punishment, Tony. That sounds a bit weird for me. What are we letting ourselves in for?
I think he's going to give it to us big time, Carl. I think that's what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, big up to you, Carl.
Even Pepsi, even Brendan, even Harry. Yeah, even Trosh.
Yeah, so say hello to everyone. Bring everyone up. Make everyone. Big up says, Tony, I'm already drunk, taking shots from you saying at the end of the day. We'll count how many he says that tonight, actually. Big up to Paul Houston. Irons. Makes me feel dirty saying that. And also, Philip wants to know, why did Karen Brady leave? Do you want the straight answer, Philip, or do you want a comedy answer? I'm sure Tony can give you both.
Why did she leave? Yeah, well, I think you'll find out, Philip. It'll come out in the wash at some point. That's for sure.
Is it got something to do with what your owner might have done or might not have done?
Yes, it alluded onto that, I'd say.
Yeah. Philip, if I was you, I would tap in the West Ham owners and put what would you call it, Tony?
Oh. Something to do with Dawn in it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Put owner Dawn. There you go. See what you come up with. Big up to Harry. Big up to Greg Dermo. If it goes Pete Tong tomorrow, there's always I said that to Mrs. Tron already. I said, whatever happens tomorrow, I've got the Grand Prix tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, dear. Big up to Erin. Hi, Domi and Tony. Everyone in the chat. Hope you're all keeping well. I'm on my way to the airport soon to go and watch the match. Birthday present. Well, Erin, have a lovely day. Tell you what, do me a favour, bud. Can you take a few videos or do a quick match day prediction outside the ground? And I'll speak to Billy and get in touch with me. I'll see will Billy meet you tomorrow, and we'll do something. But send pictures. You got my email address in the description. Send them, and we'll get them up on next week. Big up to Colin. It says, "Good evening, Tony. Declan. Pleasure joining you."
That'll be you, sir. That'll be yeah.
Apparently, my name's been changed to Declan.
Well, at least it's better than a few other names you could be called.
Well, I have been called a few other names, I've being honest, Tony. So, yeah, I suppose, that is true. Big up to Paul Houston. Hi, Dermot. Sorry for gate crashing your stream evening, Tony. If Spurs go down, do you think the attendance will drop much? Well, look, Paul, no problem gate crashing. As long as you hit the subscription button and the notification bell and do the same on Tony's, that's all we ask. It is free. And we Tony knows we let every other fan in here. As long as you're respectful and the banter's good, that's all we ask for. I think attendance will drop. Of course it will. I think it's only natural there will drop. But I think the bigger problem is ticket prices. The owners are going to have to cut them because we pay the highest ticket prices in Europe. But these owners don't care anyway. I mean, the same question to you, Tony. You're in a big stadium as well as us. Attendance will drop, won't they? But I reckon not as much for us as it would for you. Would I be fair in saying that?
I think it'll be one of those. I mean, it depends on more than anything else, how much the owners, if they put the prices down, which is going to be one thing. I think the other thing, obviously, it will probably start off that you won't get much of attendance unless, of course, you start doing well. And then, of course, then you'll see them coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so true. I did see a Millwall fan somewhere in here. Where is it?
It's Chris.
Where's Chris? Where is it? Can't find it. Oh, there's Chris. This is like Spurs fan talking to West Ham and taking the piss. Hello, Chris. I haven't been, right? This is true, God. I was at a game once. I was working in London. And I actually got given tickets to go to the old Den, not the new Den, the old Den. That was probably the most intimidating stadium I have ever been to, apart from Upton Park. That is now, yeah. Big up to Chris. How do you think your season's gone, Bud? Let us know. Are you pleased with the season? Are you disappointed? Let us know, Bud. Let us know. Big up to you. Apparently, there's a trophy presentation tomorrow. Yeah. To the best runners up in the league, I suppose. Big up to Harry Monk. Today, I have mostly listened to Misty and Roots.
Nice.
Big up. Yeah, everyone's saying, Philip saying, sugarcoat it. Believe me, Philip, there's no sugarcoating. Really isn't. Tony, everyone's final countdown day tomorrow. I suppose it is the best way to start with you guys. You are home to Leeds tomorrow. There's no love lost between you and Leeds, is there, to be fair, Tony? What are you expecting Nuno to do tomorrow different that he didn't do at the Newcastle game?
I hope he'll go back to a 4-4-2 formation at least,
Mhm.
or a 4-4-1-1. You know, he can't do the same thing that he did at Newcastle. If he did that, I mean, Jesus Christ, man, then you know we're letting ourselves in for a fucking nightmare. Big hands to West Ham. Big up Owen Disciple.
Would you take that? Funny enough, would you take Ange at West Ham?
I mean,
Would you accept it?
There's quite a few people that would actually. I mean, you know, I think he's one of those. One thing we do need, we need a change of, you know, style of football. We need to kind of see a different type of football because you know, the last couple of years, what we've been entertained with so far has been absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
Koreans will pay the price to get this true. So yeah, when you look at something like that, I mean, we need someone that's going to basically change the whole format of the way the team plays, the way it's set up. No, actually, my name is Anthony, but believe it or not, that is so you can call me Ant. No problems at all. Yeah, so when you look at something like that, we need something to change.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Look, Ange did win us the trophy. That our fan base really divided over Ange what to do. But what would he bring to what Nuno hasn't brought you? I mean, to be fair to Nuno, he's taken you from 30 points adrift to get into the last game of the season. I know you need a win and we need to lose, but he has taken you near enough to safety. I mean, if he does keep you up, would you give him a new contract or would you still look to move him on and bring in a different manager?
For me, I think he'll walk on it. I think he's going to walk anyway. I don't think he'll be hanging around. Yeah, that's well, Colin. Yeah. I think, looking at it, I don't think it will be hanging around. I think he'll be gone. You know, his contract ends at the end of the season anyway, so I don't think it would be one of those that that would kind of. There was 1 minute apparently the board wanted him. Now apparently they've kind of changed. Look at that, Di Canio, Bielsa, double act.
What do you reckon? That'd be a good double act for you guys, actually.
Yeah, Bielsa's just going to use his little stall thing and that. Ethan James, yeah, it'd be powerful to pull this off 100%, mate.
Is that the fella you have come onto your show? Is a youngish lad. Sorry, James, I'm getting this wrong. Can I just say, I dipped into your watch long last week, mate. I didn't comment because I didn't want to distract you from your stream. Apart from you, Tony, I've never seen a more passionate outburst than I saw with James last week. And do you know what? I know you're a West Ham fan, but I tip my hat off you. But I feel your pain. We've been shit this year. So I do feel your pain. And James, anytime you want to come on with Tony, you're always welcome on here, bud. We need to get you two on one of our North London Talks podcasts that we do, me and Nick and the girls do. We need to get you both on, but big up to James. And I did watch a little bit last week, bud, and I have enjoyed your company when I've been onto your show as well, Tony. So big up to you, James. And put your link in, bud, if you want, so people, Tony's West Ham fans can get over. But big up to you, bud. If you do tomorrow, where do you think your season went wrong, Tony? We'll get on to Tottenham and where our season went wrong. But where did your season go wrong, bud? Where can you pinpoint the issues that you've had this season? Where's the issues that you can say that's where it went wrong for you?
It's been down to one. I mean, when you look at the Potter at the beginning, that's the problem from Potter. Mr. Tom as well, good evening. Sharky, good evening as well. Yeah, it started from the Potter. And when you look at Potter, was even for the beginning of this season, and of course they brought Nuno in afterwards. The one thing that he, as we already alluded to, is the points that he's basically kind of lost us over this season. That's the main thing. The referee is Anthony Taylor.
Yeah.
For our game
We've
tomorrow.
got Michael Oliver. I have given him the instructions tomorrow, Tony, right? If he makes a hash, Billy, I've given you instructions to run on that pitch and chase that referee, and I will be playing Benny Hill music while you're doing it.
But going back to your question, I mean, when you look at it, I've already, it was from the day we won the Europa Conference, really.
Yeah.
That's when it started to go downhill from that point onwards.
Yeah,
Four,
I
three,
do you
three.
know
Yeah.
what? I agree. I agree with you, Tony. Big up, Billy. Welcome, bud. I hope you're doing well. How are you surviving the heat over there? Because apparently it's very hot. Can't
There's
hear you.
another
Bro. Yeah, can't hear you.
one.
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Sorry, I had my mute button on for some reason. Yeah, mate. I mean, it's bad enough as it is watching Tottenham, isn't it? But in 32-degree heat tomorrow, bloody hell. Don't know how we're going to survive. God knows what's going to be like for the players as well. In 30 degrees, mate. Jesus.
Yeah, it's hot tomorrow. I mean, same question to you, Billy, that I've asked Tony. I mean, look, I think our season went wrong in the summer, mate. I think that's where I can pinpoint our summer and the decisions that haven't been made. And I'm sorry to say this, you look at Manchester United, you look at West Ham, as much as West Ham hate their owners, they made the right decision at the right time to get rid of Graham Potter. Yeah. Man United made the right decision. I know Amron sacked himself, but they made the right change at the right time. I think for us, because we left it so long, and they made Hasher bringing in Tudor. But do you think that for our season, how it's gone, do you think that started in the summer, mate? Do you think that's where we can pinpoint and go, it started there?
Yeah, I think there's about three main bits. One of them is the summer transfer window. You know, when we sold Son, the face of our club, and didn't replace him with any winger. You know, we got very strongly linked with Savinho on the last week or so, and mad that we bid 70 million for him, and that got turned down by Man City. I'm sure they're devastated by that now, looking back on it. And you know, not getting Eze and Gibbs White over the line as well will be a big thing. The second point of that is in the January transfer window, which I think is even worse, when we had about 11 first-team players injured and didn't buy anyone. We lost Brennan Johnson. We sold Brennan Johnson on 1st of January, lost Kudus on the 2nd of January, and didn't buy a right winger. So then we had no wingers left, and which we're still left with now. And then the biggest thing of all is keeping Thomas Frank until February, when he should have gone in about November. If we're, I mean, he shouldn't have really even been in there in the first place. Let's be honest, he was not cut out for it. But the fact that we held on to him for so long, you know, if we'd have had De Zerbi from about January or so, we'd be nowhere near where we are now. It's just, it was a massive mistake in Thomas Frank in every way.
Yeah. I want to put you two in the spot a little bit. I want to swap you around, right? I want to put Tony in the Tottenham fan shoes, and I want to put Billy, you in the West Ham fan shoes, right? So what I want to do, and I want the chat to get involved in this as well, and I'll get involved as well. Right, Tony, so I'm going to put you last, bud, because I'm going to give you, your question's going to be different from Billy's. So, Billy, if you were a West Ham fan, what one thing would you change at West Ham in the summer?
It's a good question. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of their club like Tony will, and I don't know. You know, I imagine that the answer would be similar. I imagine the answer would be similar to our answer as well. It's probably the ownership. I imagine. I'm sure they want new owners just like we do. So. I think the ownership is the answer to that question. Probably the same as us. I think Nuno. I mean, we've experienced Nuno ourselves, haven't we? And it did not work at Tottenham, but at West Ham, he's done all right. He's done. I mean, he did a very good job at Forest. Got fired. He's done okay at West Ham, but it wouldn't surprise me if West Ham fans were happy to see the back of him as well. But I'm sure, just like us, they'd rather see the back of their owner. So, owner first.
Yeah. Owners for Tony, if you were why I asked this question is I came up with it and I thought I was writing it down earlier. I thought that is a humdinger. I thought that is my best one of the season so far, and I've left it to the last pre-match build-up. So, Tony, if you were a Spurs fan, what one thing would you change at Tottenham? If you could change one thing, what would you change?
It'd be your ownership, that's for sure. So same as it's your ownership. I mean, the main thing is, if you look at it, the one thing I've always alluded to, any manager that goes to Spurs, the one thing you want in concrete is, are you going to be backed with money? And they all come along and they sign this, they put the pen to paper and that, but they never really get anything. So that was one thing I'll change, is your ownership. Just like, it's not being funny, if you look at it as a West Ham thing, we're both virtually similar with it when it comes to our ownership.
I agree. I agree, Tony. Look, for me, if I was a West Ham fan, it would be the ownership. Then I want to expand on that then. Look, you look at both ownerships. They don't really care about the clubs, do they, Billy and Tony? Do you know we've got change for Tottenham? I know Billy's leading the protest tomorrow. We're going to get more information on that by the end of the stream, guys. We know we've got your protest as well at your club, Tony, protesting against Sullivan and the mob there. I mean, guys, football ownership, does there have to be better rules put in place now that this can't happen again? The owners can't come in and ruin our football clubs. Because whoever goes down, they're going to be hit financially so hard. Now, we may be a little bit in a better place than I think West Ham are, if I'm being honest, Tony. I don't know if that's true or not. But, I mean, Billy, I'll stop with you, Tony. I'll go to Billy, sorry. Tony, look, we hate our ownership with passion. You do too. Is it a time for football fans to start to come together now during the summer months and start trying to bring football back to us, the fans, again?
I think it's not a bad shout, because at the end of the day, I think clubs, shall I say, have got to evolve regardless. But when you've got an ownership that are stubborn, won't get their heads out their backsides and see the woods for the trees, this is the problem we've got. And you've got the same thing with you guys. As we said before, you've got an actual football stadium. We haven't. We rent something that resembles, or supposed to resemble, a stadium with a pitch stuck in the middle of it. That's what we literally got. And the fact that beginning of this year they turned and they said we've got £104 million in debt and we'd have to sell players. So they're already kind of trying to drive any potential owners from kind of saying, is West Ham a viable prospect to buy? By doing that, I think he was just trying to safeguard himself, because he thinks if they put that out, is anyone going to say, well, yeah, the West Ham looks an attractive prospect, I'm going to buy into that? He just safeguards himself. But hopefully, with what's going to happen with him, and that will change it altogether. But the one thing we've got is a billionaire who sits in the basically the broom cupboard, doesn't really rear his head. He gets other people doing the donkey work for him. And why did he buy into the club in the first place? He hasn't really done anything as such. He brought in Tim Steid, and he might have kind of sanctioned some certain buys, etc. But really, what effect has actually done? Hardly anything. So we've got someone that kind of is there, but everyone's got having that question, doing why.
Yeah, I Billy, look, this has been going on for years for us, isn't it? 25 years with our ownership. But does football have to do better? Does football have to put harder rules in place? You look at the Glazers at United, you look what's happening at Man City. We've changed the rules of FFP, and yes, we can spend more this season if we stay up without incurring any penalties. But should there be stronger rules put in place that owners like Sullivan or Enoch can't come into football and just effectively run clubs as cash cows for property ventures that has nothing to do with football?
Yeah, I think the way forward would be moving to a German model with a lot more sort of fan ownership in terms of the clubs, like they Bayern Munich and stuff like that. And the way that German football clubs are run and essentially sort of part owned by fans is probably the only way around it. The problem is West Ham and Tottenham's owners will probably pass every test going, because they do, they don't bend any rules. They also don't exploit any. They don't cheat to bend the rules like Chelsea and Man City and teams like that. They just essentially exploit loyalty. And I think there's so many comparisons between the two teams, because they're both very loyal sets of traditional London fans. They're two of the most traditional clubs that we have, West Ham and Tottenham, and they're both got incredibly loyal fans that go everywhere to watch their club, suffer a lot. They both move stadium, a really sort of iconic stadium, both teams, to a bit of a soulless dump, both of them. And there's almost nothing you can do, is there? You're powerless to do anything as football fans unless you protest in big numbers. But even then, you can't. You protest. But until the offer comes in for someone to buy them, then there's nothing really fans can do. It's just there's so many parallels between Tottenham and West Ham. It's unbelievable, really. Which is why I think, as much as we hate each other, deep down, I think, we kind of miss each other in a way next year, because it's such a good rivalry, and it's one of the most you can't get more traditional sets of fans in Tottenham and West Ham. So it's a shame what's happening to both, and they're both being exploited by greedy owners.
And it is. Just once to you, got a couple of questions from the people in the chat. Big up to you guys. Do send in your super chats. Do pick up your memberships as well, and hit the like and hit the subscribe on both channels, on my channel and Tony's channel as well, please. I'm sure we want to hit our next milestones as quickly as we can. Philip asks West Ham United related question. This one's for you, Tony. If you could go back to Upton Park, I think most Spurs fans would rather be at White Hart Lane. Would you go back to Upton Park if you had a choice?
I mean, like would have been lovely to go back to Upton Park. I mean, even if they did the development works they were planning on doing before, obviously they went for the London Stadium, you'd still have Upton Park as your traditional home, and that way you kind of retain the atmosphere, you retain everything, which is basically the foundations of West Ham. The fact that we moved to the London Stadium because we thought we were going to, or shall I say, the ownership thought they were going to compete with a world-class stadium with world-class players, and it never materialised. I think there was a comment someone put in the chat earlier. It's the fact of, again, the Norwich fan, I think his name is, I think it's Nigel. When you look at we were supposed to be told that we're going to be sitting as close to the pitch like we were at Upton Park, and it never happened. But then again, because obviously what happened with Mr. Khan getting himself involved and us not buying the stadium in the first place, this is where we go wrong. Big up to Jim as well. So when you look at something like that, we couldn't do anything. But unfortunately, if we kept, like you see Upton Park behind me at the moment, we kept it as it was. We were quite limited on the redevelopment of it. That was been the biggest problem in itself. So, I mean, there was talks of doing the East Stand, but then they'll have to go across what was called Priory Road, where the old bus depot used to be, to go over the other side of the road to kind of extend the seating in the area alone. But it's got to where it is. And to
be fair, Tony, right, it's a shame these old classic stadiums have gone, like White Hart Lane, like Upton Park. Man United are moving, aren't they, in a few years from Old Trafford? Not far, but they're moving out of Old Trafford. You look at Man City, rebuilt Main Road into what it is. They moved as well, didn't they, from Main Road to the stadium they are now. I mean, we all know football does change as years go on, and maybe history isn't part of what football should be, but it should be part of it, shouldn't it? It should be about protecting your heritage. What your clubs came from, what the history you had at that ground. I mean, I went to Upton Park more than once. As I said, very hostile, very intimidating. But if you go down to that part of London, the most nicest people you'll ever wish to meet. And I worked down the East End quite a long time, and I miss the old grounds. I miss White Hart Lane. I miss Upton Park. I miss the old stadiums around. I mean, you too, Billy. We all grew up. Me and Tony grew up in the era when football was football. When it was a working man's sport. I think when the Premier League came in, that changed it to what it is now. So, do you think again the football authorities have to do more to protect football clubs? And what rule would you bring in for that to happen? I'll start with you, Tony. I'll go up to Billy there.
I think the main thing, I mean, I think it's Troj there was saying about, we should protect the old grounds and, the national heritage and stuff like this. I think the main thing is they have to show a 5-10 year plan of what their intention is with their moving forward as a club, what they're going to do, profitability, retain, the youth football, academy football, women's football, what they're going to do with the first team, what plans they're going to do with the training grounds, the whole ethos of what a football club should be. That's the thing, So when you look at things like that, because you know it's safeguarding what it's all about. I mean, the old clubs have gone, grounds have gone. Like Rangers Fan TV, yeah, Highbury gone. Someone's putting obviously Goodison's. Well, Goodison's still there, but it's more. It's one of those. I mean, yes, as a club, you want to build on things and to make sure that you future-proof yourself by what you're going to take in through the gate. The problem is with TNT, Sky Sports, and things like this. That's where the ownership don't really worry about what the clubs are about now these days, or the heritage, because they know there's guaranteed income coming from these media giants. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
I mean, Billy, where are you? Look, we left a fantastic stadium, didn't we? White Hart Lane. It was our home, plenty of history there, wasn't it? And Daniel Levy gave us a dream of we're moving to the next step. We're moving to a fantastic stadium. We're gonna compete with the best. We're gonna compete with everyone. A bit like the dream I think West Ham fans were sold when they moved to the London Stadium. But let's not forget, he was willing to take us out of North London as well. People seem to forget that. Nobody brings it up. And
yeah,
is somebody in the chat right that football clubs should be protected by the heritage, by some law, that you cannot move your football club out of the area they're in? Should there be some law, or if you're going to rebuild your stadium, rebuild it on top of your old stadium? Do you think that should be put in, that clubs don't move?
I mean, yeah, because football, at the end of the day, it's a community thing, isn't it? It was built from communities, not from, it's not like an American thing where you've got these big sort of franchises that pop up all around the country. Football is all about a community aspect. And, you only have to look at people like Coventry that have actually had their football, and Wimbledon fans and stuff like that for the horror stories. It's that's every fan's nightmare, isn't it? Imagine, I mean, Tottenham, we had it quite lucky, to be fair, in that our stadium is exactly this, built on top of the old one. But like you said, it almost wasn't. I know that some people said Daniel Levy only went for Stratford so he could pressurize, Haringey into doing the stadium, but we never know if that's true or not. So, we nearly lost our home, our literal home. So yeah, I mean, for me, football without the community is nothing, isn't it? And I think the problem is, going back to both questions, is that, ticket receipts is so much of a small percentage now compared to TV money that fans are just becoming less and less important. The only reason fans are important is because of atmosphere and the product. You saw in COVID, when the stadiums are empty, watching football was just not the same, was it? It was a rubbish product. In terms of financials, football clubs could take the hit of no ticket money if they needed to, just because Premier League clubs anyway, because the TV money far surpasses gate receipts these days. It's just unfortunately the way it is. The money that fans bring in is becoming less and less important to football clubs, just because TV money dwarfs it by an absolute mile. So fans don't really care about. I mean, clubs don't really care about fans. They care about the most money.
Yeah, they do, and it's sad, isn't it? That the three of us, right?
It's only going to get worse as well. It's only going to get worse. We're going to have like FA Cup final in Saudi and all that stuff. It's all coming down the line. When you watch what's happening in La Liga, it's all going to come to us. There'll be games in America, or we can see what's happening down the line here. It's only going to get worse and worse for English match going fans.
Yeah, I mean, do we have to come together like with the Super League? I know I said it before, but it's football ready. I mean, you look at tomorrow. Apart from us and you, Tony, from every neutral, it's going to be exciting tomorrow. Who's staying up? Who's going down? What's the latest at the London Stadium? What's the latest at White Hart Lane? And it's good for Sky as well. They sell more TV boxes. They sell more whatever. But for us fans, it's going to be emotional. It's going to be nervous. It's going to be, both of us, we need heart monitors next to us, Tony, because we're doing watch-alongs. Billy will have to have about 20 pints of whatever next to him just to keep it calm. Well, it's what it's all about, isn't it, Tony? Like for us doing watch-alongs tomorrow, and that Billy's going to have a different atmosphere going to the game. But for us tomorrow, it's what it's about, isn't it?
It is, mate. It is. That's the thing.
Do you feel this is what doing YouTube is all about tomorrow? And I know it's a weird question to ask, but it does give you that. You probably get a lot of you and me will get a lot of adrenaline in tomorrow, won't we? Whatever happens, like.
Yeah, I mean, because I've like I'm watching the other games as well. So when you look at, you're watching both things going on, and it's the dramas. I mean, I know the good people in the chat will be with me, and some of them will see the scoreline maybe before me. And it's one of those. So the highs and lows tomorrow are going to be off the charts. There's no two ways about it. That's for sure. And it's where it goes, and then of course it comes down to when the 90 minutes are up. You're either going to get the congratulations or the commiserations at the end of the day.
Yeah. And for you going to the game tomorrow, Billy, what's it going to be like for you tomorrow, being a fan in that South Stand? How are you going to keep in contact with the London Stadium? What do you think? Do you think people will be around radios? Do you remember the old days to have radios at games or they'll be looking on mobile phone? How are you going to approach tomorrow going to the game? Because it's a totally different experience going to it than what me and Tony are going to be doing. So how are you going to deal with it tomorrow? What's your sort of plan to deal with tomorrow? How are you going to keep up with the other game going on?
I mean, it's going to be awful. There's no two ways about it. For both West Ham fans and Tottenham, it's going to be a horrendous experience. It's not going to be enjoyable, even if you go like 1-0 up. The amount that's at stake is just too much to be able to cope with as a fan. So it'll be awful, unless we get a situation where either one of us is sort of down 2-3-0 and you can forget about it for a little bit. But it's going to be awful. And one of the things about, I remember being in White Hart Lane and people having to have you get one guy over radio and then at half time they show the scores. But these days, our stadium, and being a modern stadium, has got full Wi-Fi. So I remember, at the Leeds game, someone had the game on Sky on their phone because they were trying to figure out what was going on with VAR. So it's very easy these days to watch. I'm sure most people will have the actual West Ham game on their phone, to be honest. This is what I think will happen. I'm sure there'll be almost every other Spurs fan will have their phone in their hand like this. And, if that West Ham goal goes in, you'll hear a massive groan from everywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be awful. But and obviously every Spurs fan will be trying to get behind the team. But the amount of nerves, I mean, I'm already feeling the nerves, but it's just.
Oh, I am.
I'm not looking forward to it. I'm genuinely not a part of me is looking forward to it, to be honest with you. I just want it to be over with. I just want the season to be over with. I want it all to be done. It's just taken up so much of my mental bandwidth every night and going to sleep, which is sad, really. But, that's how important football is to our lives, isn't it? But, I go to bed thinking about Tottenham being relegated. I wake up thinking about Tottenham being relegated. And it shouldn't be that way, but, that's how important our football clubs are to us.
It is. I mean, I was walking down to my local shop today, going in my head, and I'm thinking, right, I'm thinking tomorrow night on the show, and I'm thinking, right, introducing after the whistle, right, Tottenham have stayed up, we're in the Premier League, and let the party start, and this has been going, right, we're relegated, here we go, and this is the start of it. And
I saw that tweet today from the Premier League where they said, 19 of the 20 teams are now decided because of Hull going up or whatever. And how on earth have we got into a situation where we're down to the last two teams? It could only be Tottenham or West Ham in the final day, which is why, because the title's won, because no, I don't think anyone particularly cares about who gets the Champions League spots that much, because it's basically already done unless there's some mad maths going on. Everyone's going to be watching Tottenham and West Ham tomorrow. The entire country is going to be tuned into it. So, I mean, I was on a train today I was on a train in Wembley going home, loads of Middlesbrough fans and Hull fans. There's one kid in a West Ham shirt, and someone random in the train goes, "I hope you win tomorrow. The whole country's on your side." There you go. That sums it up, doesn't it? Really.
There was Billy just shrunk up a little bit more in his chair.
I know. I think I'm taking my headphones off and saying no.
No, but anyway, Billy, who do you support, mate? I don't like football. No, I don't support anyone.
That's what I'll be going to tomorrow. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, I mean, Tony, look, Look, I go to Philip Brady when I go. Last time we went down was nearly 50 years ago. And I looked to him what it was like back then. None of us have experienced relegation. I don't know if you have, Tony. I think you have a few times. And so can you explain to fans, Tottenham fans, right, worst case scenario, what emotions did you go through, say, in the first 24 or 48 hours of you being relegated? And I'm not trying to be nasty with the question, but I think it's worth asking, what does it feel like? And what emotions do you go through?
It's not a great feeling when you think about it, because you know, especially when you've seen certain games where you should have won them, you know, and when you've
Yeah.
thrown it away like we did when we got relegated. I mean, I think remember the last game. I'm trying to come up with who the opposition was. But I do remember the ball being played through, and Joe Cole missed his challenge, and they went on to score the goal, and that kind of basically condemned us. But when you go down, yeah, it's not a great feeling. And then you look at the teams that you're going to be facing, and you know, I mean, the Championship is a hard league. You know, everyone talks about the Premier League being the best kind of thing, but if you want real fight, and you know you want to see like the real kind of type of football, it is in the Championship. There's a few teams in there, and everyone seems to kind of be fighting for that top place to get up there. And you know, this season was no exception to the rule. Southampton, obviously, as we know, you think about us, you know, the chance of us two facing relegation, but you look at the fact that with Southampton, their manager, with what he's done, is basically kicked everyone in the balls and some. So when you look at something like that, if you do go down, and you saw your manager doing this as a fan, you're gonna, you know, it's from tribulation to kind of like let's bloody kill the twat because what he's done to
Yeah.
us. Their players are even turned on him, so I think his position is untenable. I think he's going anyway. So this is the thing you could face yourself. I mean, the problem is if the ownership turns around and says, right, if we're going down, this is in the, you know, we're going to rewrite the contracts because we're obliged to do that. We're allowed to do that. Your wages are going to be reduced by X amount. As soon as you see that, they'll be knocking on the door. I want out. We had it, like I said, you know, Glenn Johnson, when we got relegated last time, it was a case of we've got to stick together, get ourselves through this and get back up. As soon as Chelsea come knocking the door, and he was the first one out the door, you know, and it's them kind of things you're going to face. So if you get into that position, it's not an easy thing to get out of. But as long as they set their position out, first of all, what they're going to do with the club, what they're going to do with the team, and more importantly, how they're going to look after the fans in the way of prices and stuff like this. If they get that all right, then basically you'll have a good season and there's a chance you'll come up straight away. If you don't get it right, then yeah, you're banked to rights and you're going to just miss out. And that's when it becomes harder, because if you do retain any of the good players, if you don't get it right that first time, they will want to go, and then you've got to start rebuilding again. And there's where your problem is.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, me and Billy know well enough, this ownership cannot be trusted, can they, Billy? Let's try to be a bit positive here, bud. We have got Everton at home tomorrow. We've got a very good record against them. David Moyes said he's not bringing the kids. He's coming in there tomorrow he's already mentioned, to get West Ham up and beat us. Is there any player that scares you tomorrow from West Ham, from Everton? How do you think they're going to set up tomorrow? What's your sort of inkling with them tomorrow with David Moyes?
I imagine they'll play very much like they did against the Man City game, where, you know, they try and absorb all the pressure and try and hit you on a break. In terms of their players, I think that, you know, that Barry can have it's very hit and miss. He was brilliant against Man City, but he's looked dreadful in other games. And then they've got Beto up front, who I don't really rate that much either. But, you know, I think Grealish is injured, is he? I don't know if he's in the team at the moment.
He is,
Yeah, I know he was drunk the other day, wasn't he? The other night, so I don't think he. But, you know, if you look at the Everton team, there's not a lot of quality in there really. Like, they've got Garner, who's a really good player, but the fact is, you know, David Moyes, as he does at West Ham, he sort of squeezes every last drop out of players, doesn't he? And there's no one in there you'd say, wow, that's an absolute superstar. But at the same time, they're a really difficult team to play against sometimes. So, you know, I can just imagine it being like that Man City game, where if you go too much gung ho, you know, they can very easily catch you on the break, like they did against them. And then, you know, they got Keane as well, and
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? The other centre back, I forget his name. The other
Tarkowski.
big centre back. Yeah, the other big centre back, and it can be very good from set pieces.
Yeah, Everton worry me a little bit because if we do go to gung ho, and if we do start the game like we did against Leeds, Billy, Everton will thrive on that, and David Moyes will thrive on that. He will set them up to do a job tomorrow. Do you want to say big up to Frog in the Ball? This is on your channel as well, Tony.
Yeah,
So
big
do
up
you want to
Frog.
say anything?
16 months, superb. Thank you very much, mate.
Legend,
Just seeing the score there. Bayern obviously have won the cup final. Looks of it. Harry Kane with a hat trick, 3-0.
I believe that's his first ever goal in a final today, and he's got a hat trick now. But there you go. It's his first ever goal in a final for Harry Kane.
Harry, can you come back, please? We desperately need you.
He's won a double now. He can come back now, can't he?
Yeah. We've got a couple of questions from the people in the chat, a couple from us, a few from your channel as well. This from Daz, for all of you. What do you think of the new rules for goalkeepers and throw-ins 5 seconds after the World Cup? Yes, please. Anything to keep the game flowing, to stop time wasting, 100%. I think it's a great rule. Just get rid of VAR. Billy, do you agree or disagree, bud?
Yeah, I think it's a great rule, but how much are they actually going to apply it? Because, that's technically the same for goal kick to the ball in hand now, but they still take bloody ages, don't they? I know. We've actually had 2 corners this season. We had one against Leeds and one against Burnley on the first day of the season. It's the only 2 I can remember. With the first 2 that I've seen where they actually don't bother to actually do the rule, where if goalkeeper kicks it for more than 8 seconds, then you get a corner. But we've had 2 of them go our way. But as long as they actually do that, then great. Yeah, brilliant. That's what it should be like, because I mean, it's getting worse and worse every season. Isn't it? I think the ball is in play for about a quarter of the match in total these days. So,
you, Tony, where are you, bud? Do you agree with it, bud?
Well, there's more things coming in. I mean, like, there was this also talk about VAR being introduced for bloody ball going out from throw-ins and things like this kind of thing. There's also talk of that as well now. So it's where this is going to go. Look, when you think the 8-second rule. And how many times was that adhered to? So when you think of this, is it going to slow the game down? That's going to be the question for me with all this going on. It's bad enough as it is. You're going to get certain players knowing how to kind of exploit this and long it out as best as possible, especially if they're ahead as well. So I don't mind certain changes, but they've got to make sense. That's for me.
No, I agree 100%. This one also from Harry Monk as well. It says, question, Dermot, how many of your first team stars have relegation clauses which will reduce their earnings? Am I right to say, Billy, that Daniel Levy did put in their contracts, their wages go down 50% if they're relegated?
Yeah.
Also, would you agree? Sorry, bud, go on.
Yeah, that's right. For any player signed under Daniel Levy. So I think the only player that doesn't have that is Romero, who signed a new deal, and Conor Gallagher, who signed after Daniel Levy. So every player, Levy always insisted on it, which you think is mental because, how was Daniel Levy preparing for relegation as Tottenham? But it could end up saving us next season.
Could do. There's more on that actually, Harry. I'm going to do a big thing on that next week. There is a few players, actually, their contracts end at the end of May, I think. But I will get there. This one from Erwin, big up to you. It says, Dermot, what do you think of our captain back in London? Did he come back because of the hate he got? Not impressed by him. Am I right, Billy? That picture's taken a month ago.
Yeah,
that's not correct. That
news
picture.
report to me. He's not back in London. He's still in Argentina.
I
mean, we spoke at length about that last night, didn't we? But
we did. I wanted actually Tony's view from an outsider, from an opposition fan's view.
Can I ask Tony a question? Actually,
yeah, of course you can. Of course you can, Billy.
Do you think, Tony, there's a world in which Jared Bowen is, say he was injured? Do you think there's a world? Can you imagine a scenario where he's not at that stadium tomorrow watching your last game of the season if he was injured? That's what we're experiencing as Spurs fans.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw something like that, then obviously I think question marks would definitely be raised because considering it's kind of been West Ham through and through, basically, if you suddenly disappear and you're not there, then it raises a million and one questions. Why is he not there? Has he been tapped up? Sacrilege. It shouldn't be like this. At the end of the day, your captain, regardless if he's playing or not, should be there just as to inspire the team in the changing room before the game goes.
100%.
So to see that he's decided to go and watch his old team, I mean, that in itself is just wrong on all levels.
Yeah, I
Definitely
mean,
is that.
that is a great question, Bud. Any more thoughts on Romero that we didn't touch on last night, Billy? Or do you think we've said what we said, but should he have been stripped of his captaincy? Should the club come out and said, right, you've got to be back in London tomorrow? Who do you blame for this? Who's the main person you blame for this tomorrow?
Yeah, I like what Scott just said there. That it's unfair that if we have to watch Spurs, then Romero should have to as well. That is true.
Great
We
one.
can't get away with it, can we? So, but I mean, I think a lot of it is to do with the culture at the club. That this is even allowed in the first place. Yeah. Right. In this specific situation, I understand the World Cup and the medical thing and all that, but you have to be there for your last game of the season if Tottenham could get relegated. There's just no getting away around it, I'm afraid. You just have to as captain. There's no way I know we said this last night, but someone like Son, Gary Mabbott or Ledley King or Harry Kane and Harry Kane wasn't even a captain for Tottenham. There's no way that they would miss this scenario, because if you're captain and your team gets it's like the Titanic, isn't it? You go down with a ship. You have to be there. You have to face the consequences of it. And it's almost like cowardice, isn't it? Like, I don't want to be there when the shit really hits the fan, So it's unbelievable, to be honest, mate. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Let's go through the stats for tomorrow's game, guys, and we're just quickly going to go through that. We do play Everton. We played them 67 times in the Premier League, draw 25. We have won 32 altogether, 21 at home and 11 away. Everton have won 10 altogether, 6 at home and actually only 4 away. Robert De Zerbi's Tottenham, this is the 38th game out of 38. 37 have already been played. So we've got 9 wins, 11 draws, 17 defeats, 47 scored, 57 against, and 38 points out of then 37 games. Our last 5 games, only 1 defeat in the last 5, actually, and that was against Chelsea. But you look at them points, Billy, a point against Bournemouth, the 2 wins against Wolves and Villa, and then the point against Leeds. It's been a good 5-game run, hasn't it, for Tottenham, to be fair?
Yeah, it's been much better. The performances have picked up. Everything's picked up. So it's been better, but, still a long way to go.
Yeah, there is. Everton, of course, they were going for Europe, not there. At 37 games, 38 tomorrow, but 37 games played, 13 wins, 10 draws, 14 defeats, 47 scored, 49 against, sitting on 49 points. And if they do win tomorrow, they will break in to the top half of the table for the first time in 5 years, I think. So I know he really want to do that. They're horrendously in the last 5 games. No wins in the last 5, 3 defeats and 2 draws there. But they did get that 3-3 draw against Man City where they were 3-2 up. And even David Moyes has said the last 6 weeks is probably one of the reasons why Gardner wasn't picked by England, by Tuchel. And he said we sort of let him down as well on that. But West Ham did beat them 2-1. And I wonder, is that a game that might come back and bite us on the arse tomorrow? Our last 5 games against Everton's been a little bit hit and miss. We've got a 3-0 win at the new stadium early in the season. We did beat them. We did lose them 3-2. And our last game at Goodson Park, we beat them 4-0 at the start of last season, 2-2, and then a 2-1 win. So we've not had a bad record against Everton. The referee tomorrow, of course, is Michael Oliver. Stuart Burt is referee. James Mainwarning is the other referee. Robert Madley is the 4th official, and Paul Turney is on VAR. Just a quick question on VAR and the refereeing standards. Billy, I'll start with you, Tony. I'll go to you, Billy. Sorry. Tony, what's your thoughts on the standard of VAR and refereeing standards this season?
You've got a system that can actually work. Unfortunately, you've got officials that haven't got a Scooby-Doo about it, how it operates. And that is the worst thing more than anything else. I mean, it's a pain in the arse. And the Melks has put a comment in there as well, because that's another one coming in. the offside now is going to be, it's got to be clear and obvious. So there's going to be this gap in between kind of thing. They can't make a decision as it is now. So what are they going to be like next season? Because this season has been absolutely atrocious, you know. And I'm not just saying it's our game. We've seen it with several games. I mean, like, you know, we look at the Chelsea game with you guys. Was it, wasn't it kind of thing? They weren't too clear on that. We've seen it in Scottish football. How is it in other countries it can work so well, yet with us, we make a complete hash of it? That tells you something in itself. If the officials can't get it right, then you need to kind of make sure either there's a body that kind of looks after how it's run, and if the person cannot do it properly, then basically you suspend them and get someone else in who knows what he's doing. That's the way I see it, because at the moment, some of the decisions that have been let go or should have been dealt with has gone amiss, and it's cost several things. I mean, like, you know, the clear one obviously is the Arsenal one. That could have made a big difference. But the fact of, if you look at Arsenal and that, and Arsenal, Manic, I know you in the chat, don't mean to be disrespectful on this one. When you look at Arsenal have not been given anything, then you got a question. Well, hold on, you've seen so many things in theirs that doesn't happen, yet anyone else than that, you get penalised. How does that work out? It don't make sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. Billy, with you, look, we've got Michael Oliver tomorrow and Paul Turney on VAR. Does that fill you with fear or confidence tomorrow?
Well, it should be confidence, technically, because he's the number one ref in the country and he's going to the World Cup. And funnily enough, West Ham have got the number 2, haven't they? And Nancy Taylor, they're both going to the World Cup. They are the ones that represent. So obviously, they've been given the 2 biggest games for this weekend. So, I mean, it should be confidence. But, you know, Michael Oliver, as far as I know, does not have a good record with us. Don't like it at all. He refereed that Man United game when Romero got sent off recently.
Yeah.
Just don't really particularly like him as a referee. So, I mean, he's technically the best of the best, but I think they're all useless, to be honest. So, yeah, not sure.
And VAR on the whole, what have you made of it this season?
Oh, it's been the worst I've ever seen this season by a long way. You know, and everyone has said, you know, VAR has been horrific, but I don't remember it ever being this bad. Like when it first came in a few years ago, we all moaned about it, but it's never been as bad as this season. This season has taken it to new levels. And, you know, I think as a Spurs fan, you think, right, Spurs are not getting any decisions. It's going, but it's almost every Premier League game that I watch. You know, you watch that West Ham Arsenal game, you watch, you know, West Ham Newcastle even. Every game that I've watched recently, there's some kind of big VAR mess up somewhere. So I've just bitten it all off, to be honest. And we definitely need to train our referees big time because they're horrendous.
I think this fella sort of got the wrong idea of what we're talking about. Apparently, he's giving VAR credit.
He's wired you up.
Yeah, I wonder if that's because that you VR'd your way to the title. So look, that is the referee in charge tomorrow, and these are the players that could be playing the last game tomorrow: Ben Davis, Morani, Palhinha, and Suma. Guys, we're going to end off there. I want score predictions and where can people find you. Big up to Tequila. He says, who is the most, us or West Ham, all that ever played a part. So who is the most rubbish? Cast your votes. Fair enough. Right, Tony, where can people find you, bud, and score prediction for tomorrow?
For you guys and that, I think if you look at it, your home record has been absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, even with De Zerbi and that, getting some kind of format, you guys, I think that hoodoo thing over your is not going to kind of break in certain respects. Everton, even though they've got injuries just like you guys, I think Everton will turn up, unfortunately. He's, you know, Moyes will make sure of that 100%, and I think it may go down to 2-1 to Everton in that respects. And I think if you look at it, it all comes down to Everton score first. Everton score first, then I think the pressure puts heavily onto you guys. With us, Leeds, we know with you can certainly say yes, they've done it, they're safe, they've got no worries. But when you look at it, Farker is definitely going to all tend to kind of win the game as well. But at the same point, I think you look at it like this. I know he's also a little bit peed off with his board at the moment, because apparently if they don't back him, then he's talking about walking, which is a weird one in there. So who knows? He could have a different train of thought tomorrow. But I think if Nuno sets it up correctly, I think we can nick this 2-1. It's going to be, but it's going to be very close. I think it's either way, whoever goes down out of the two teams in that, it's going to be, I'll say honestly, it will be a sad loss. If it's West Ham, it's bad enough that we've got to deal with that with an ownership we've got. And for you guys, you have never really kind of had to deal with something like this, and how you get yourselves back out of it with an ownership that kind of really clearly is more interested in having American football, the big old monster trucks and singers and dancers there kind of thing. So where's their real intention? As always, the worst thing about this, and I think Billy, you've kind of hit the nail on the head a little bit, for the likes of TNT, Sky, TalkSport, all the kind of the media channels, they're absolutely loving this, because at the end of the day, the worst case scenario is that both teams are at home. So the fans have got to deal with this with the players, and the players have obviously got to respond to make sure that they kind of do the job. Unfortunately for us, we are heavily reliant on a former West Ham manager to do the job. And all it takes is a single point. And regardless if we get a win or not, then it doesn't matter. We will be in the Championship next season. But as I said, I'm not going to give anything away at this point until it's confirmed tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I agree. Billy, I'll give my predictions at the end, Billy. Where can people find you, Tony, very quickly? So
you can find me on Hammers Football TV. We will be going on to the Arsenal channel soon at about 10 o'clock. Yeah. So he's going to have me and Dermo on there and asking us questions about both teams as well. So guys, if you're around, please come and join us in there as well. I'm just getting up the link anyway on my one. Dermo, I've sent the details over to you as well, so you can do that as well.
Yeah. Yes. Big up Billy. Look, you're going to the game tomorrow, buddy. Where do you want to start? Do you want to give your predictions and then the protests after? So what's your predictions for the game tomorrow, and tell everyone about what you're doing after the game tomorrow, buddy?
I think West Ham will win tomorrow. I think they'll beat Leeds, so we have to at least get a point. I think it might be like a 2-2 game for Spurs. It's going to be tight. Both games will be on a knife edge. I fancy West Ham to win 2-0 against Leeds, and I think Tottenham 2-2, and we just about do it by the skin of our teeth. But there's no result tomorrow that will surprise me in either game. It's just that it's a last game of the season is just a lottery, isn't it? So what on earth could happen? We'll just wait and see. And then after the game, change of Tottenham are going to protest against the ownership. There's going to be 3 change of Tottenham banners inside the stadium. We're going to stay and sit in after the game because we don't want to interfere with getting behind the team and before. So join us for that, and I want Enoch to leave the stadium knowing that what has happened this season is unacceptable on every single level. So that's the plan, and then we'll go from there. But this is just the beginning of a summer of protesting, because we got to get rid of this ownership.
We do. And also, guys, if you are going to the game tomorrow, do get over and support the guys tomorrow. And also,
look for the banners. If you're not sure where to find us, look for the banners. You'll see them.
Yeah, definitely see them. Tequila says, "Good job, Billy. Give them hell." We're gonna do as well our bit on the channel as well in the summer. We're gonna do plenty of that. I'm gonna see, can I meet up one day? We're in for an afternoon with Billy. We're gonna do a bit for a protest outside the stadium. We're gonna organise something outside the training ground. So we will try something when I'm over there on my holidays. But look, we've got to keep it going. We've got to keep the pressure on. This ball, we cannot be here again. This is unacceptable, what's happening. But Billy is right. For the 90 minutes tomorrow, we have to get behind the team, behind the players. And let's get out this mess, and let's stay in the Premier League. And I'm sure Tony's echoing the same thing for his lot as well. And I'm sure he's saying exactly the same thing as I'm saying. Right, tomorrow I am going for...
Sorry, can I just interrupt you? You said you're going to meet up with Billy in the summertime.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favour?
Yeah.
Can you just have like Peter on the wingy? Just for shits and giggles, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Just give us some of your binoculars that you're making for
Of course,
your
man, of
new
course.
stadium.
Need a car window as
yeah,
well.
anyone-
Need a car window involved.
Yeah. What was happening? Just to give Tony a bit of a plug, he is bringing out merchandise. For every sub, you get a pair of binoculars and a little Tony toy that comes out with a different phrase every time you press his belly. So do look coming in the summer very soon. And it will be sold in the East End, big shopping centres all around the East End there. So do look out for them. Tomorrow I'm going for a Leeds 1-0 win. And I'm going for a 4-0 Tottenham win tomorrow. I have to end the season delusional.
Right, I hope you're right.
I have to end it delusional. I have to do it. I'm sorry. Saki Dermo and Angry Dermo have gone. Delusional Dermo's back. I have to end it as I started the season. I have to end it as I go. Yeah, I knew that.
You're drinking the black stuff, aren't you? You definitely are, aren't you, Dermo? That's for sure.
That's a big bottle of potchin in there. That's what I'm drinking. Right. On that bombshell. No, I'm being serious. No, I'm still sticking with 1-0 win for Leeds. I think Leeds will turn up tomorrow. I just don't know. For us, I think we're going to win it. It's going to be tight, but I think we will win tomorrow. I do feel we will win tomorrow. But look, whatever happens, may the best team win, Tony. May the best team win. May the best team survive. Look, whatever happens, we will be in communication tomorrow, or we'll get each other a call for definite. To the West Ham people that are watching, best of luck tomorrow, guys. Look, it is a football game at the end of the day. I know it's heartache, whoever goes down, whoever stays up. But do you know what? It is football at the end of the day. But no, may the best team win. And I think, Billy, you reckon that as well, wouldn't you?
Yep, of course. And let's be honest, whoever ends up in that bottom three deserves to be there. So
Exactly. See, even Tequila thinks I'm crazy. He knows I'm crazy. But as Billy says, that whoever's in the bottom three deserves to be there, to be fair. Listen, big up to everyone over on Hammers Football TV. Do hit the like and subscribe for Tony. Hit the like and subscribe for us here, guys. We are back tomorrow at 3:00 with a pre-match build-up, watch along at 4:00, and then after the whistle at 6:10. Look, it's the end of a long season. Whatever happens, tomorrow is the next 190+ minutes is going to be ups, down, torture, anxiety-driven. God knows what else. It's going to be one of those Sundays. But thank you all for watching. We'll see you tomorrow at 3. And whatever you do, come on, you Spurs.
come on.
And big
Come on,
to
you
Zerbi, we trust.